Hi guys, welcome to another gold lap guide. This time we take on the iconic Laguna Seca with the Chevy Corvette C8 in the latest online lap time challenge. I've currently got a time in the top 100, so I'll show you what I did to achieve that. So this lap guide is going to be a bit longer than usual, but there's lots of little details I wanted to share with you, and if you stick around to the end, I'm sure you'll pick up a few helpful tips. So we exit the last corner in third gear, and we're going to be using a lot of engine braking in this car. You use all the revs as well, no problem with that. The first braking point is just as this curb starts on the right hand side. Now I like to brake down into second gear, but watch how quick I change down the gears, straight down to second gear and use the engine braking for good effect. If you are using automatic gears, potentially brake a little bit earlier than this. So we're down into turn 1. I'm just going to slow this down a little bit and show you something else as well. So we're down to second gear, hit this first apex. I'm going to take the braking just past this apex. I want the slow point and the rotation point to be just between the two apexes, somewhere around here. So I'll slow this one right down, guys. Just watch the braking. As soon as you go off the brakes and you've got the steering already in, as the car's going slow, it'll already start to rotate on its own. As soon as you get the car pointed towards the second apex, flick it up to third and start getting on the power, but you have to feed it in progressively. You can't just slam it straight down. Up to the next corner. The next braking point is just before this 2 marker on the left hand side, somewhere just after this curbing starts, I'd say, on the left hand side. Don't leave it too late because you will miss the corner. And this is where we're going to try and use a little bit of trail braking to maximise the rotation through this corner. Now it's slightly off camber, be a bit careful with it, very easy to miss the apex. We'll go down to third gear. Just try and get as close to this sausage on the middle as possible, but do not hit it, whatever you do. Power out nice and early, use all the circuit on the left hand side. Next braking point, now this is very subjective, different guys will have different ways of doing this corner. This is my way of doing it. Just after this 2 marker on the left hand side, some guys will take this in 4th gear, and I can't quite get the rotation, so watch what I do here. I'm braking down to 3rd gear, the car steps out a little bit, get the car rotated, back on the power, up to 4th gear, use all the circuit on the left hand side, and away we go. Now the next braking point is much earlier than you think it is. Now I brake a couple of meters before this bridge starts, and our goal here is to try and square this corner off a little bit. As this car is so good in a straight line and not fantastic in the corners, I'm going to try and go for a later apex. So down to 3rd gear, and just where this sausage is here, I'm just going to try and apex just where that is and get on the power as early as possible. Try and get a better exit up this hill. Now this next corner is an absolute killer, and it can really make or break your lap. So the braking point I found for this one, or I'm using for this one, is where the 3 board is, and I'm just going to try and get the car to be rotated before the apex so I can get back on the power earlier. We're also going to brake down to 3rd gear, and watch for this, watch where the car rotates. Get as close to that sausage as possible and get on the power as early as you possibly can without running out of road on the right hand side. But do use all the road on the right hand side, otherwise you are going to be losing time. Up to the famous corkscrew. Now the braking point I like to use for this, again it feels really early but it's not, is this white line on the left hand side of the track. Now I want to try and get the car pointed up towards the right hand side a little bit to try and open the corkscrew, or the entry to the corkscrew, out a little bit if we can. So we're going to brake down to 2nd gear, try and keep to the right as much as you can to try and open this corner out and take a bit more speed through it. And as soon as we get to the apex there, get up to 3rd gear and just trying to be as aggressive as possible without losing the car down through here. Now this next bit, I don't really have a defined braking point as such, but it's just about playing with the balance of the car through here. What I tend to do is drop to 3rd gear, get the car rotating a little bit, try and hit this apex better than I do, get back up to 4th gear, get the power on, and use all the circuit on the right hand side, use all the circuit on the left hand side. You want to be hustling the car all the way around here to find that time. The next braking point I like to use is just where this curbing starts on the left hand side, and we're hard on the brakes, so down to 3rd gear and get as close to this sausage curb on the apex as much as you can. There's a bit of camber to help you get the car around and get on the power nice and early. Use all the circuit on the left hand side and really hustle the car over to the right hand side for the last braking point, which is just after this curb starts on the right hand side, but it's definitely before the 3 marker. Brake around the 3 marker or after it and you're going to run out of road. So we're hard on the brakes. I go down to 1st gear just to try and use some of that engine braking, and then we flick up to 2nd for the apex, and then as soon as we start wanting to put the power down, back to 3rd, use all the circuit on the right hand side and get full power down all the way to the finish line. And we go across the line in a 1 minute 30.845, which is good enough for 1.54%, and as of the time of recording, 60th in the world. Now if you're looking to give your lap times a boost, this video here can really help you. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.